In this video, I'm going to take you through and show you how we've set up our vegetable garden here in France. "2021 is still a little bit different, a bit like last year. And for us, we're probably not going to be going away this summer. And as a result, we've decided to put a lot more effort into our vegetable garden and get it really working and producing for us as best we can as beginners, as we've only really just toyed with this before. And our aim is not to grow everything under the sun, really just to grow the things that we like. So with that, I will show you some footage of how our vegetable garden looked back at around the beginning of April, and then I'll give you a walk around to where we are now, late May. Let's get going. So this is a pathway that we take down to the vegetable plot. Now the plot actually faces due south over the mountains there on the Pyrenees. So it gets sun for most of the day. As we enter the plot, we have a few fruit trees here. And the first 4 beds that you can see just popping into the picture now, in fact, all of those are all just too big and not easily workable for us. At the far end, most of those are going. There's 2 small ones that are staying. Now, just coming into the picture now, kind of hidden under the trees a bit, in fact, are 3 small beds which are also staying. So at this end, the first bed there you can see is too big. It makes it hard to reach across from one side to the other. The next 2 small ones stay, and the next one, which is a strawberry bed, does need to go, but because they're going to fruit pretty soon, we're leaving the bed for the moment. And so here we are looking back down the plot again. This is what we have to work with and what we're going to get our backs into over the coming weeks now to get this kicked into shape. So that was it about 7 weeks ago, and let me now show you what we've done. It's about a 100 square metre plot, but rather than doing it in lots of rows just going across that, we've made a lot of raised beds, and each of those raised beds is dedicated typically to one type of produce. And for us, it makes it a lot easier to maintain, a lot easier to water, and a lot easier to keep the weeds down as well. So let me show you what we've got. So here we are looking down the vegetable plot now, and you can see a whole range of raised beds. They're not really tall, they just take it a little bit out of the ground. Our ground is really hard here, and this helps us to have softer ground that we can maintain more easily, and in effect we manage it in a no-dig fashion. We used to use a rotavator on here, and we have not done that now for some time, as what we do is on all of these raised beds, as we go around, you'll see that we either have straw or more normally grass clippings, and all the grass cuttings that we get we tend to use here. And we put it all around the plants, and it keeps the weeds down magnificently. So starting behind me here, we have some grapevines, which we've moved. They're actually about 10 years old, I think. We've never had one single grape off them. Okay, maybe 2 grapes, in fact. But we're hoping now, putting them here, we can tend for them a little better. This is kind of fruit corner, really. Straight down below me here, we have our row of raspberries. These are, new this year to us, so I'm not expecting to get a great deal off them, but I'm hoping they will multiply a lot for next year, maybe double the number of plants we've got. And then over here we have an old strawberry bed, which has kind of just been left to do what it wants, really. And then we added another strawberry bed here this year with new plants, which are looking really good, nice strong plants. They're just starting to come into fruit right now. On this side here, we have these 2 are actually blueberry bushes, which again are brand new to us. So I hope in the years to come they'll do well. I'm not sure which is which, but one fruits in July, August, and the other fruits in September. So the idea is that we could actually get about 3 months worth of fruiting out of those plants, which would be lovely. And then at the end we have a couple more raspberry plants there. So then if we get down to here, these are our beef tomatoes, and we've got 2 types here. One is kind of a rustic tomato, and the other's quite a smooth-skinned big tomato. And I saw just now actually some annoying thing has nibbled this tomato. Right now I think it's got a chance of coming back, but it's not what I wanted to see. Over here we have more fruit bushes. So we've got, I think it's 2 red currant, which are is the middle and the end one, and 1 black currant. I think it's that way around. These 2 beds here are all cherry tomatoes. We've got 3 kids and we get through a lot of cherry tomatoes. We've also put some nasturtiums in to help, as I understand it, to take away some of the aphids. The aphids kind of prefer, or bugs generally I think, prefer the nasturtiums to the tomatoes apparently. So we've put some of those in there. We've got a few more beds to finish off actually. You can see there's 2 squares we've got to put in. One of those is going to be for climbing beans. Not runner beans, unfortunately, because they just don't grow here. It's just too hot. We tried a number of times and it just doesn't work. And all I can put it down to is the temperature. However, dwarf beans work really well. So we're going to have dwarf beans in one of those. The other one I don't know. This row here is, I'm sure they're all planted far too close together, but that's the way it goes. We have half our cucumber and half our melon. And we're going to aim to try and make them climb up this trellis area. And we even managed to install a little table and chairs for us to have a cup of coffee and things in. Probably got one of the flashiest sheds actually as well. It's on stilts on a hillside with a terrace out the front. So one day I'll have to show you around that. This is our sweet corn bed, a really, really popular thing with the kids. They absolutely love sweet corn. It's so sweet when you get it off the cob like this. Our first lot of lettuces, which we need to eat, looking at those, some cauliflowers and then some kale. This bed is empty, yet to be planted. This bed needs to be put in place. And over here we have some courgettes, which are just about to come into flower. 2 of them look a little bit healthier than the third. As you can see here, this one unfortunately, well, I think he's going to survive, he's going to be okay, but he was nibbled a little bit early on and he's really suffered. But these 2 look good. And you can see what I mean here. This is what we have around here is just grass clippings. But when we go underneath the grass clippings, this ground, this is actually damp and it retains the moisture really, really well. And for here, we live approximately sort of 40 minutes in from the coast. So 40 minutes from Cannes Plage. And we get very high summer temperatures here. So having the grass around the plants really helps us to cut down the amount of watering we've got to do, which is kind of a godsend, to be honest. Anyhow, let's move on. This bed will be for our butternut squash, which are just coming along here. We've got one there, and there. So we've got 3 in here. This actually, by the way, this is the subject of another video which we've done on the French channel and we need to produce for the English channel. This is something we made ourselves, and it in the early season it provides us with a way of bringing seeds on in a sort of protected environment, and then as it gets warmer we'll change it to just give us shade rather than heat. And in here we've got a variety of things growing. These are actually some flowers, cosmos, some beans which haven't been very successful, which is a bit of a shame. And looking further over, we've got a couple of hollyhocks that I found on the vegetable plot here and I've sort of saved. A couple of borage plants, some beetroot, coriander, pak choy, and some little gem lettuces at the end. And there's a couple of basil plants as well. So we've got a fair few things in here. We've got a lot more we need to plant. We started the season off really well, getting our seeds planted in little, let me show you, I can't think what you call them, these sort of things, which worked really well. But we were really good getting them going, but then we didn't plant them out. And so it all fell a bit behind, and now we are playing catch up on some other things that we haven't planted yet. But for us, this is good. And the final bed to show you is this one here, which in fact is an old window frame, which came out as part of the renovation. This was from one of the bedrooms, so we got the actual window sill there. It works quite well. It's a hardwood frame, so it's surviving quite well in the ground, and we have a mishmash of herbs in there, which probably needs a bit of thinning out, if I'm honest. And there we have it. So there is, to finish off, sorry, we have a couple of trees here. So we have an apricot tree, and then a pear tree, and over there we have a not very well producing peach tree. So if we look at it from this angle, here's what it is. And we'll see what the changes are in the coming weeks and months and keep you updated. And I hope it produces well for us this year. Now, what you might have seen as well whilst walking around are these two beehives at the end, which are completely new to us this year. Little bit of a surprise. I did try to catch some bees. I didn't necessarily expect to be this successful. And I'll be posting a couple of videos soon about how we came to catch these bees. So there you are, that's our vegetable plot. We are very new to this. If you have any hints and tips, things you think we're doing wrong, please tell us. If there are things you think we should be growing, because of where we live, or because you just think they're lovely and gorgeous vegetables, tell us and we'll take a look. So we've got a few more beds to complete, to put in the ground, and a lot more planting to do, which means seed sowing in the first place as well, to get us up and running in the next few weeks or so. So if you would like to be updated on how our French vegetable garden goes, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It is the best way that you can help us. And remember to click do the thumbs up if you could please as well, and click the bell icon to get notifications of when we post new videos. With that, I wish you well, and see you next time. Bye.